This is Michael Tillinger. I'm talking to you from South Africa in the heart of the ancient vanished civilizations and the millions of ancient stone ruins. I'm literally right in the heart of it all. Let me dump this on you right now. We are right in the middle of the largest concentration of ancient ruins and vanished civilizations found anywhere on Earth to date. So take a journey of discovery with me. That's exactly what we're going to do. And we're going to connect the dots to see how we can make sense of the past so that can benefit us into the future. And that's ultimately what my work and my research is all about. We have no idea who we are, where we come from, and why we're here, and how these vanished civilizations have left behind technology that we're only rediscovering and have only rediscovered in recent times. I don't know if we're going to find anything as dense, as mind-blowing, intriguing as the ancient stone ruins of Southern Africa. We'll be connecting the dots, as I said, from the past to the present and into the future. Why does it matter? Woven into our lives and what we do every day, how we react, is part of the tragedy and the story that is unfolded, that is our reality. If we don't know who we are and where we come from, how could we possibly know where we are going? We are and we have become a species with amnesia. And how do you create a species with amnesia? Is you separate people from their ancestors. Because for thousands of years, people have lived in communities and villages, and they've shared and handed down information and knowledge from generation to generation. It was a ritual, part of the customs, that they would hand down the knowledge, very well preserved and as accurately preserved and related and conveyed knowledge and information about their past, their ancestors, and so forth. When the people in boats arrived and took over the lands of those that lived there, that's when they started the cleansing. They got rid of all the knowledge, information, and they literally beat it out of the people. They separated the people from their ancestors. You burn their books, you burn their writing, whatever they had, materials that they had that they held on to dearly, and you destroy the connection to the ancestors. And that's how, over a 500-year period, the global elite have come very close to creating an absolute species with amnesia. Fortunately, there are still shamans and people that have held on to their traditions and held on to their knowledge of their ancestors, that have passed on that knowledge and information. It makes us very vulnerable. We become and are a very vulnerable group of beings, and we are open to lies and manipulation on a scale that most of us cannot even fathom. And much of that is just a continuation of the lies and manipulation that has been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years, if not thousands of years. Let us go to this very beginning and talk about this theory that's been shoved down our throats, this theory called the Big Bang Theory. I want to point out to you that it's got the word theory in it. It's the Big Bang Theory. But this is what mainstream science does. Now, keep in mind, science is supposed to be all about knowledge, sharing knowledge and information. Science, that's where the origins of word is. Science comes from the word knowledge, right? So anyone who's knowledgeable about anything is actually a scientist. You don't have to have a white coat and work in a lab or have some weird degree that allows you or permits you or certifies you that you're now a scientist. If you're very good at what you do, you are a scientist, you're knowledgeable about that subject, so you automatically are a scientist in your field. You don't need a degree to do that. Mainstream academia, and the mainstream has hijacked this word called science and scientists, and they've put the label onto some people that they choose. They choose these people that they call scientists, and then they make us all look towards the scientists for answers. So we've seen in the last 2 years how the scientists keep getting it wrong, and how the people who should know the answers don't have the answers, and how many of the answers and solutions actually keep coming from the people that keep getting rejected. So let's start at the very beginning. Go to the Big Bang Theory and this thing called the singularity, because that's what the mainstream science and astrophysics and cosmologists tell us, that everything in creation comes from this single point, the singularity, a very, very infinite, dense point into which everything in the known universe was compressed, and it exploded into what we now see around us as the known universe. I like to bring you to this question. What is the singularity? And what are we detecting when we detect this so-called origins of the universe, the known universe around us, this single point of singularity? What are we detecting? This infinite point of density from which everything comes. The whole story of the Big Bang is always divided into the argument between two groups, the evolutionists and the creationists. Evolution and creation. It's a relatively new argument, believe it or not, because ancient civilizations did not necessarily believe in evolution. They believed in creation. Anyone that steps outside of the realm of evolution, any academic that starts to even contemplate creation or intelligent design, suffers from very harsh consequences. It is a very sad state of affairs how mainstream academia has completely hijacked evolution, and they don't allow anything else to enter the bastion of the academic domain. So evolutionists and the theory of evolution really comes down to the Big Bang. The Big Bang is the mother of evolution because everything comes from there. And what we are told that everything in the universe flying around and bumping into each other, and the random act of them bumping into each other creates DNA, it creates cells, it creates organisms, it creates you and me, it creates planets, it creates galaxies, supercluster galaxies, it creates water, it creates everything in the known universe. It comes from random, accidental coincidence of particles bumping into each other. Now you can, if you have any kind of knowledge of science or physics or biology, and especially genetics, and contemplate consciousness, you'll realize that is possibly the most pseudoscientific argument anyone could put out there. It is just reaching for answers because you don't have any. So let's move on to the next argument, and that is creation. And creationists believe that there is a higher consciousness, a consciousness behind everything, and all-knowingness behind all of creation. Some people call it God, some people call it the source code, some people call it the creator. And that this consciousness is behind everything that we observe. And it's fascinating because Max Planck actually made that statement as well, arguably the father of quantum mechanics or particle physics. Max Planck, that's the father of the quantum leap, showing us that an electron can disappear in one place and suddenly reappear in another place, basically proving to us that biolocation is possible. Max Planck was very vocal about this field of consciousness, and Max Planck said that nothing gets behind consciousness. Consciousness is the primordial source of everything. There's a hidden activity and a hidden action behind this reality that we face and the reality we find ourselves in. So it's important that ancient civilizations actually believed that the universe and the heavens were created. I have not discovered or found any ancient civilization that talks about evolution. That is a relatively new concept that was introduced into our education system, trying to make the old people, ancient civilizations, appear stupid for thinking that things were created, that things just manifest, that there's a higher intelligence behind everything. And that's where it gets really interesting and often very dirty. And what's important, that the universe was created through sound and words. Even in the Bible, we learn about the word God said, "Let there be light." And you'll find when you study this that pretty much every ancient civilization, certainly everyone that I've studied and come across, the further back you go and you eventually stumble upon their creation theories and how the world and the universe came to be, you will find those words either about sound, resonance, or frequency, how the Creator brought forth the universe and everything in it through either sound or vibration or resonance. So let's talk about sound, because sound is at the source of everything. It's the centerpiece of creation through pretty much all ancient civilizations, including the Bible. Sound is an infinitely powerful tool. Our ears are miracles of nature, and we don't think about it. We are surrounded by sound. Everything around us gives off sound, because our ears play an integral part to energizing our bodies, energizing the trillions of cells in our bodies, and keeping us connected to the environment around us. Really important. And it's not just the sound, it's the resonance. Remember, when we talk about sound, sound is how we perceive resonance and vibration in this density of ours. We perceive it as sound. Those vibrations and the sound actually hits our skin, it hits our hair, it hits parts of our body. We're intimately and inextricably connected to sound. Our ears are incredibly complex instruments. It's truly, and I say it again, a miracle of nature. The nervous endings that are connected, the nerve endings that are connected to our ears and come from our ears are so complex, and they pretty much connect our ears to the entire body, to every organ, every cell in our body is eventually connected to our ears. And this is why we respond so violently sometimes when certain sounds happen and some things happen, how we react to the sounds around us. It's because of how the sound is connected. Our ears are connected to pretty much all the organs and muscles in our bodies. Think about it. You hear a sound and you jump. It's your muscles that react. So there must be nerve endings connected to our muscles, otherwise we wouldn't jump and react, right? So just think about that for a while and realize how powerful our ears and the sound is in our reaction and our survival mode. The most important connection and the dots that we connect is how light is an aspect of sound and how sound actually manifests light, because often people get it the wrong way around. Often people think, they talk about light, let the light come in, let the light come in. Yes, it's important. But if it wasn't for resonance, the source code of resonance and creation, we would not have light. And you'll see how important that statement is.